All right, shalom to Lake to Israel, to the hopeful Lake to Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negro, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites that look like the other nations scattered across the four corners of the earth. I want to give all praise to Barak, Barak, Yahawashi. Got to give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, name in the Heavenly Father, everybody ignorantly calls God. His true name in the ancient Hebrew, which is Allah, Qadash. His true name is Yahawah, Bahasham, means in the name of Yahawashi, is the Holy One of Israel. Everybody ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, so-called Negro from the tribe of Judah, who was slain at the foundation of the earth for the salvation of the elect of Israel. You got 2/3 of the wicked Israelites scattered across America, Babylon the Great, and the other wicked Israelites scattered across four corners of the earth. We'll come back to the loins of the elect after the destruction. The Qadash is the Holy Spirit that has been bestowed upon the men. The Heavenly Father gave his only begotten Son out of the world to complete this work. So we always want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of great millstone. Let us all to this truth, been ordained by the Lord and teach the flock how to live, repent, pray fast, show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, beginnings to wrath to all those who are part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord, when we part of that number, Lord, when it's be edified those who fear the name of the Lord, striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. His judgment always comes to light. Zephaniah 3:5, it is not slack. 2 Peter 3:9 until it rings. 2 chapter 5, verse 42. Shalom, now you sincere believers out there tuning in, here on after Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash, Barak, Atham. We're going to get into a various end time topic lesson and also like a short testimony. Try to make it quick, just some things that the Lord put the spirit on me to kind of go across. The title is Whatever the Elders and the Apostles Command, we know is coming from the Lord. So I want to go into just a small testimony concerning, this lesson that Elder Apostle Tahar did. Lord willing, is edifying to the flock. He did a lesson going into this guy called Prince of Power, right? And the title of this lesson on his channel, GMS Declaring the End, said the Lord is not dealing with you, Prince of Power, right? So this guy, he has this whole problem with, the doctrine. He doesn't understand that, the Romans are Edomites. And he's like, how can they be Edomites and Romans at the same time? He doesn't understand the doctrine and doesn't understand, the truth. And, he's just ultimately not awake. He's been blinded. Only the election have obtained this truth. And then Elder Manata Zakba did another video going into it and kind of explaining that as well. And, but he also went into a particular God, because he asked him about what the MOTB is, right? And the dude was like, he was like, he like explained all this random stuff and said it was some other stuff. And so the Apostle Tahar went up and looked up this god called Bacchus. Okay. And Bacchus is like a Greek god who he his whole thing is like wine and ecstasy and like partying, right? So he goes into this and kind of breaks down, why we shouldn't be going to bars, going to clubs, going to stuff like that, and I know I'm not the only brother who, at times we used to go out to the bars and stuff, and even in the truth, when I was in the truth, there's times that I've went, there's a little hole in the wall bar out here. I go have me a drink, but it wasn't like, my whole thing going to the bar was like I just like to, kind of have some time to relax, think. A lot of times I wore my headphones, didn't really talk to people, and my necklaces and stuff. Some people will come ask me about the necklaces, and a lot of times I would tell them like, hey, it's a warning, and see where it goes, see if they really is interested in the truth. So I talked to them a little bit, and some people actually started looking more into the truth, and I put the warning out there and whatnot. But I just got a small testimony about some of that stuff. But I'm gonna read this first, so we won't just go too far into it without going into a scripture. Like I said, this dude, he needs to be taught again. This is Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12, and it reads, For when the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of the Most High. Right? He don't even know what the mark of the beast is. He was going into a whole bunch of other stuff. It's easy. It's the microchip. The RFDI chip you put in your right hand and your forehead. It's easy for a prophet to know that. That's an easy breakdown. And are become such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. And that's why a lot of these people are confused about the doctrine and how we break things down, because they don't even got the fundamentals of this truth down yet. They don't have the basics. So that's when they go in there and try to deal with the meat revelations of the chapters. They go in there and they break it down, don't get what it's saying, because you don't got all the fundamentals yet. You have to get all the fundamentals, and that's through words. You have to look up certain words so you can understand what it's saying. And that's the one thing Jake don't want to look up nothing. You got to go in there and search stuff and study stuff. And like I said, this guy Bacchus, we watched him just literally go in and check things and reference things and make sure that, what he was saying was accurate. He even does that. He's the head apostle in GMS. So how much more us that are followers of GMS and brothers in GMS, we got to do those things too. And just going back into a small testimony, I don't talk about it a lot, but when I came into the truth, I was working at Amazon, and I met the first brother I ever heard was GMS in the Truth Orlando. Just he was rebuking this other guy, and that's how I came into the truth. From that day, I was engaged in the truth and whatnot, but I still had things that I was dealing with and things I didn't learn, I didn't know. So there were still things that in the flesh that I was going off on. I was still smoking, whatever. But when I found out, like, they was like, you can't smoke, I was like, oh, okay. I stopped smoking. So, right. And then they told me that the Lord was going to try me. That's what they say to all the brothers. Like, when you come in the truth, you're going to get tried. So things happen where, they fired me from a job, which was, a blessing, because now you see they done let off 750,000 workers and put all these robots in, or 100,000 workers, and let all these robots in there. Right. So it was a blessing that I lost that job, even though I was making good money. But that happened, so I couldn't afford my car that I was paying money on. I lost my car, and I was in a bad position, right? So I'm, at this point, I'm still serving the Lord. I'm still studying, still going out to the highways and byways on my own. I think I maybe started 6 months in the truth after I started going to the highways and byways. Yeah, about around 6 months I was in it, and I went to start teaching. The things that I did know, and, gradually as I grew, I learned more. But, at that time, I wasn't going out to no bars, right? So I'll go and I was kind of living place to place, and I moved out from the place where I was at. I was staying in this closet, and that's where I learned a lot of the truth in there. That was a time where I was kind of in a rough patch. I had about 3 months without a job, and I walked to a job to get the job that I got now. I walked across town to get it, and then got enough money to get a bike, started heading over there. But in that time, the place I was living at, things just wasn't working out. The people that was living there just wasn't clicking with me. They was smoking and stuff, and I was like trying to get rid of that. So I was like, okay. So I knew some people on the west side. I said, let me go stay over there, right? And so I stay over there. And, they let me go over there, and I'm helping them with the rent and stuff. Not really the rent, like, electric and water and gas and stuff. And these guys kind of was like, yeah, you good. We got you. We gonna pay the rent and stuff. And they just kind of dipped. Right. So they kind of dipped. And I was in a position where, I didn't really have nowhere else to live, and I could have went and lived with my mom, but I'm 31 years old. Like, I'm not finna go move back in with my mother. Like, I'm gonna figure my situation out, because especially now that I knew the names of the Lord, I trusted that whatever he was bringing me through was for my good, and these dudes just kind of disappeared, and the lights went out, the electric and the water went out. So I'm out here living with literally nothing, like in a house, but like a tent. I'm still doing the work. I'm still going to the highways and byways. I'm not trying to, make, nobody feel sorry for me and shit. Like, I'm out there just figuring my shit out. And my Zaquan, my elder, he actually came out and seen me a couple times. We was fellowshipping and talking, and he was checking up on me, and, when I was in that position, there was a little bar down the street, right? And that's where I would have to go to use the bathroom. I would go there and study and stuff and, get something to eat because I couldn't cook. So, it all depends on your situation. Sometimes places that, that seem like, that's not the best place to go. Those times, sometimes they actually are a help, but there's eventually a time where you got to cut those places off, Jake. And this is what's happening right now. This is why the elders and the apostles saying it, because I ain't the only brother who used to go to bars or whatever. Brothers do that. But they're cutting it off because these days are coming. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 20. Because a lot of us didn't go to party and stuff. And, some brothers go to find a woman and stuff. I wasn't one of them brothers. I had plenty of women trying to talk to me when I went to the bar, but that just wasn't my aim. I was really out there looking for Jake because I'm new in the truth. So I was like hungry for the truth, So I was really trying to reach out to Jake, and I actually reached out to a couple of them. A couple of them actually are, paying attention to the truth now, So that's just kind of my, just a small testimony, but it's going to tie into some other stuff in a second that I'm going to mention. So Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 20, in those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for, right? They're going to be expecting us to still go to the bars, or expecting us to, kind of, still be a little bit in that scene, right? This is just one of the things that they're going to seek for. And there shall be none. And the sins of Judah, they shall not be found, for I will pardon them whom I reserve. See? So this is why the elders and apostles are telling us now, stay out of those places. Even them little small hole in the wall bars, because he wants the elders and apostles want us to remove ourselves damn near completely, because first of all, we got, who we know is Emperor Nero and a Roman emperor back in the days of Rome. That's who he is today. Okay. Trump, that's that same spirit coming back. He's finna do a lot of shit when he gets in the office. Okay. So we about to be really stepping back from everything, because I've heard other elders talk about yeah, what I'm saying, it ain't no sin to, go to a little bar or whatever, but just, be mindful of we're in a state of mourning. You don't go to a bar to have, a good time. Maybe you just sit down to clear your mind or something before you go to the house or whatever. That was, a lot of times when I was riding my bike, it was days out here where it was negative 5 degrees. So the bar was like a place where I could stop, give me a couple of drinks so I can get warm and then go to the house. So that was another reason why I was going to the bar in the wintertime. It was helping me and stuff. But, when the elders and apostles tell us to do something, we're going to do it. That's just period. So And it's the spirit that, that they said that stuff, because I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It's a bar down here, the bartenders like me. They cool. They know I don't mess with nobody. I stay to myself. I don't even dance with no females. I don't holler at no females. I just have my headphones and I'll give me some drinks or whatever. But, a couple weeks ago when I went, I went one time and I was like feeling something in my spirit, like, I don't need to go here no more. Like, I think everybody who I was supposed to talk to in here, I talked to. And that was like the spirit the Lord had on me. So I just left, I just stopped going. And I was at work. Let me read a scripture. Ecclesiastes, the book of Barak, chapter 17, verse 25. This is also a reason why you about to stop seeing us as much on the scene. It reads, return to the Lord and forsake thy sins and make thy prayer before his face and offend less. That's what the elders and apostles are commanding us to do, to offend less. Because, even though, I don't feel like in my spirit I was in a spirit of Bacchus. I wasn't going out there, in a festival type of thing, because I really wasn't talking to nobody. But it's still like, I was drinking, so it does, as a prophet, like they said, we're not here to even be able to relax. Okay, we're supposed to be constantly dealing with the ministry, so that's something that, I feel like the Lord has been gradually pulling me out of, because, I've been out here for a long time. So that was kind of like my thing, to go sit by myself, kind of get out the house, whatever. Right. But, the Lord is changing that, and I'm glad that, that the correction went out there like that, because, I'm a kind of guy, I like to go to the bar and give me a drink, sit down, listen to music. And, sometimes periodically talk to Jake about the truth. That was why I would go out. That was my thing, because I've been going there for years, way before I came into truth. And I don't even really think I met no women at the bar. Most of the women that I met have been outside the bar. I always had that feeling like you don't want to get with somebody at a bar. It's not going to work out. That's just not the setting for dating. You want to meet somebody maybe at the job or something. Maybe you at Walmart, you see a woman, whatever. But, I just always had a feeling in my spirit that's not a place for that. But, we're offending less now. So even that little stuff, even if I'm not going in a celebratory spirit, it's like, nah, we ain't going to that stuff no more. And at the same time, Priest Sha'ar in Dallas, he had a testimony going into, just like he asked the Lord for more responsibility. And so I was like, yeah, man, that's a good thing to ask the Lord for more responsibility, because we want to be useful to the Lord. So, I prayed to the Lord, for more responsibility in my situation and get my stuff more together and whatnot. And even though, like, I ain't living like a horrible life. It's a tough thing to ride through the cold sometimes, but that's not that bad, man. That's nothing compared to what Yahawashi went through. So, but one night, this is the last time I ever went. And there was this like an old school bar. It's like a lot of older people, veterans and stuff be there and stuff. But my bike, somebody knocked the charger off, because it's electric. It knocked the charger off at work, so it was almost dead. So I was like, damn, I ain't gonna be able to make it to the house. So I rode over there to charge it. Okay. And I met this guy. He was a lot older. He's like 45 or something. And he introduced me to these gyms, and he got a whole bunch of them. And that kind of gave me the opportunity to kind of, have a little small business. I make, I like the necklaces. So that kind of helped, me have more responsibility now that I'm, actually running like a small necklace business. So that was like kind of like the Lord gave me more responsibility, like to where, like, even though, like, some certain things in our lives are changing, he gives us different things to be more of a help to the ministry, because some brothers do like necklaces and stuff. So now I have the opportunity to do that for certain brothers, So, and it's not nothing too big. It's not nothing that's necessary, but it's just a testimony to show that, like, the Lord can do stuff in your life. And like I did look up some stuff and study about it, and like it's actually, it's actually a good like, little side thing to do, while you working and stuff, especially in the times we come in. Because Trump was talking about, raising taxes and making tariffs and stuff and making stuff more expensive. I actually got an article on it. I'm gonna make sure I pull it up. He's gonna start making stuff more expensive, and so, little here and there, you got a little talent that you can do, use that stuff, Jake, because there's going to be some brothers that need help in the future. We want to be able to help them if we can. But I'm gonna read this real quick. Romans chapter 18, verse 17. And if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, which is talking about Yahawashi, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. So that's the ultimate goal, to decrease from this place while the Lord increases. And some brothers got certain things that, they decrease faster than others, but it's all just about, you getting yourself right and knowing what, the Lord wants you to do as a prophet, talking to brothers out there. But, I feel like that's a more responsibility to, the Lord gave me doing that, and it happened to be at a place that, really I shouldn't have been at, but in the end, it was kind of the spirit that happened. And then like 3-4 days later, you got the elders and apostles like, stay away from them places. So that was like what I was thinking a week ago, like that other place I used to go. That was a little hole in the wall. I was like, I don't need to come here no more. I don't talk to everybody here. Then I had to go over there to charge my bike. And then boom, I got a little small business now, making necklaces, so that's pretty cool. The fact that they did that, because now it's like, all right, I learned everything that I need to learn in that situation. Now I can move forward, and just grow in the Lord, and get ready for Jacob's trouble. So this is Romans chapter 18, verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. And it's not really suffering not to go out, Jay. It's not a suffering. That's not nothing to feel like you suffering on. Like the only reason why I went out is because the apostles, they never said that it wasn't okay. I heard some elders say, yeah, no big deal, go get you a drink or whatever. Just don't be out there getting in trouble. Be smart. Go with brothers. But now they saying like, don't go no more. And the reason why they're doing that, because we're coming close to the end. Shalom, Malak, Yahawah, Bahasham, Bahasham, Qadash, Barak. Shalom, Malak. Yeah, like we're coming to the end. So, we're going to follow what they say do. Because you don't want to be at one of them places, Jake, and then something happened to you. Because then if that happens, then brothers ain't going to help you because the command went out. So that's why we watch every day. I heard one of the apostles say, if you miss one day, you miss a lot of stuff that goes on. And a lot of stuff did go on. And like I said, he goes into this guy Bacchus, and it put the spirit on me to go into some more gods that deal with this place. Okay. One of them is like, we're going to show you the God that you're worshiping if you celebrate New Year's. Okay. That's one of them I'm going to show you. Okay. And I got the spirit came on me to do it because I was listening to Elder Apostle Ramlaw. But before that, I was listening to Apostle Gabar talking about, we're not here to have a good time, talking about the sufferings of Yahawah, Yahawashi, going in that. And, kind of put the spirit on me to kind of blend all what they were saying. And, of course, I sat down and talked to my elder a little bit before I came with this testimony and seeing what he thought about it. And, he gave me some spiritual advice, and I'm going to follow that as well. That's what we do. We don't, and it's not really chastising. It's like they care about us. Those are our spiritual fathers. So when the Lord tells them something, that's showing that the Lord cares about it. He's saying, stay away from these places because I'm finna start bringing some judgment on these places. I'm finna start bringing some mass judgment on people, So he was like, well, since you ain't doing this, I'm going to give you a different purpose. I'm going to give you more responsibility, So that's another thing for you brothers out there. You know, when I start making these necklaces, you know, they ain't nothing that's like necessary, but you know, if you want one, y'all can hit me up, man. And you know, I don't need nothing from y'all. Take care of it. You know, the Lord did this because, you know, that's kind of like my little thing. You know, that's why I like how Apostle Tahar said yesterday, like, we not robots. Some brothers got certain skills that do stuff other than other brothers. Mine is like, you know, I like making necklaces and stuff. And, you know, I can do a couple other things, but that's just like, you know, one that's, you know, something that I know I can do as, you know, for brothers, that's like a gift. You know, I can make music too, but that don't matter. You know, this is the best song that we got. I'll read this from the brother real quick, and then we'll go in John 17:15. I pray that thou shouldest not take them out of the world, but thou shouldest keep them from the evil. See, they are not of the world, even as I am not the world. Right? 17, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. You know, and that's why you always want to listen to the apostles, because there'll come times where they'll say, okay, yeah, that's cool. Maybe you can go chill or whatever out there by yourself or whatever with the brothers, go play some pool or something. But now we at that point where it's like, nah, we don't need to be doing that. Okay, we need to go all the way in, you know. So that's where we're going. We're going to go wherever the Lord drives us, and we know that he's talking to the men. So that's where we're going to follow. This is Romans chapter 5, verse 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, right? That's why we go through stuff. For in patience experience, and experience hope, right? Experience of surviving the certain tribulations that we went through. That's what gives you hope, not just reading the scriptures. You got to go through tribulations. That's why we pray to the Lord for strength, you know, so we can have, you know, those times, you know, when tribulation comes, you know, we can make it through. And there's actually something else. The eldest in Arkansas, elder in Arkansas said, I want to show. And I actually have a prayer I want to show, a Hebrew prayer for the certain situation that he's talking about. But I'll bring it up in a second. I'm trying not to make this long. It's going to be a little long, though. I've got a lot to cover tonight. You know, I've been really reflecting. I really want to go into a lot of stuff. Verse 5, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of the Most High is shed abroad in our hearts, which is talking about your minds, okay, by the Holy Spirit, which is the Qadash, which is given unto us, you know. So we're not ashamed whenever we do get told like certain things, like, hey, you got to work on this, you got to do that. We don't feel ashamed. We're glad that the Lord is doing that, because other people, like this guy, Prince of Power, you got the apostles saying he's not of the elect, and they said that he might be if repents, but they said they don't see that happening. And these are the last people that you want to have an eye towards you as you know, as an enemy to the Lord, okay? Because the Lord's dealing with these men, you know. So Apostle Ramlav went into this lesson. Jeremiah 12:16 is not an open door to the heathen, okay? And his channel is GMS Info Doc channel 12. And like for new brothers coming in, this is definitely some notes you want to go and take, a lesson you want to go and learn. Because you're going to want to know this stuff. You know, you're going to want to know this stuff, especially in the days to come, because, you know, it's going to get to a point where, you know, Esau is actually going to keep trying to tear down this doctrine, you know, through his little pawns that he sets up. And that's our job, is to defend this gospel, you know. And it was a very edifying lesson. And there are some things that I got out of it that I want to kind of go over what he was talking about that he didn't really say. He didn't say everything about. And I want to go bring up some of those accounts that he spoke of about. I'm going to go read. Okay. So we're going to start right here first. He bring this one up. Leviticus 25:44, because they want to make it seem like we'll read Jeremiah real quick before we get started to show you what they're trying to say. Jeremiah, what was it? 16. Yeah, 12:16. Right? they're trying to say this is a way that they can get in, but this has nothing to do with them getting in, these heathen. Okay, because you got to understand that sometimes when it talks about the heathen in the Old Testament, the majority of the time, 95% of the time in the Old Testament is talking about the heathen, but there's a small time that's talking about actual Israelites, Israelite foreigners, Israelites who were taken out of the land. And we're going to go into that. And he went into it, going into like, you had, Israelite foreigners who would go to the land of Israel and would take part of the Passover, but you had other strangers in the same like 4 or 5 scriptures that says that they can't. Okay, and when you look up both of those words, there are 2 different words in the Arabic Hebrew. Okay, that's why we tell you, like, you have to look up words to be able to understand some of this stuff. But we just gonna stick with the milk part of it. But we're gonna show you some of these gods to show you that this is why we call this place spiritually Assyria. Okay. So this is Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 16. They said this: it shall come to pass, if they will diligently learn the ways of my people to swear by my name, the Lord liveth, as they taught my people to swear by Baal, then they shall be built in the midst of my people. Now they're trying to say that this is them coming into the kingdom, but that's not what it's talking about. Like coming into the kingdom as being Israelites. No, we're going to force them to do the laws. After the 1,000 years of slavery, they're going to get forced. Okay, because they're not going to turn to these laws, and we're going to prove it. They're never going to turn to these laws. We're going to prove it. They're never going to come to these laws, and they haven't unto this day. We're going to read it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it, in a more simplified way, because I want to pull up some of these gods that they were talking about and show you some of these gods, man. And they're the same ones that America Babylon the Great is worshiping today, to show you that this is Babylon, America Babylon the Great, the revived Roman Empire. So these are the same gods that they were worshiping then. They're worshiping them now. And we'll show you some of them, what they call them today. So Leviticus chapter 25, verse 44. First, it says, both my bondsmen and thy bondsmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Both of them shall ye buy bondsmen and bondsmaids. See, the heathen are slaves. Okay, they're not going to be coming with us. Okay, because they're trying to use the book in Jeremiah, and that's in the Old Testament too. That doesn't even make sense that he would bring them in there, and then over here talking about they're going to be slaves. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. And I need to go to the blue letter on this. Yeah. So around about you, and ye shall buy bondsmen and bondswomen and bondsmen. It says, moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, right? Of them ye shall buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. See, the Israelites in the kingdom, we're going to own them. Okay. Verse 46, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for its possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. Forever. Okay? So it says forever. You're not going to get to come in and be with the saints of the Most High and be part of the tabernacle. You're going to be slaves forever. But over your brethren, the children of Israel, ye shall not rule one over another with rigor. See, so maybe you had a Jake that, something happened, all his possessions got lost. Maybe he gambled it away. Maybe he screwed something up, and he was a servant to another Israelite. That Israelite, that person, you're not going to treat them like the heathen, but he's still a servant. Okay. That's how you know that the heathen are not talking about, in this position, in this passage, this stranger that is talking about, it's not talking about, it's not talking about Israelites. Okay. That's talking about strangers, the heathen. Okay. In this passage, sometimes it's talking about, Israelites, but in this specific passage, it's not. Okay. And we'll click the button. Let's
Strong's H 8453. Toshav.
Right.
Toshav.
So it's Toshav, but really, like, well, how you say, so yeah, it says sojourner or stranger, right? Well, how you say sojourner in the Hebrew is yashab or yashabyam, and that really means like sit down. It goes back to like sit down, dwell in. Okay, a sojourner is like a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, but when it says stranger, that's really mainly talking about the heathens. Okay, how you say strangers is thawashab. Okay, that's how you say that. So in this situation, there's actually talking about the heathens. Okay, because in the kingdom, all the Israelites are going to be, the top of the top. Okay, they're going to be the best. Okay, now I actually had that scripture. So the water, I'm gonna pull it up in just a second. But I wanted to go over a couple more things first. But you can't mix those. Okay, that's why I said, to the children of Israel, you're not going to treat them like that. You're not gonna rule over one another with rigor. But it said them, you can do whatever with them. Okay, you can tax them. You can make it to where you can use them with usury, and whatnot. So, and yeah, he put down that GH 1616. Yeah, that guard sojourner, temporary inhabitant, a newcomer, through conceded rights. Yeah, that was kind of what Apostle Gabar was going, or Apostle not Apostle Gabar, but Apostle Ramlaw was going into. But I hadn't got to it yet. So we're gonna kind of jump over a little bit because I want to pull up a couple other things. I really advise you to go watch the lesson. For people who didn't get to go watch it, I just wanted to pull up a couple of things and go into a couple of accounts that he kind of just talked about and said to go read them. So we're gonna go read them. Okay, so this is going into when we're in the kingdom. Okay, this is what it's going to be like in the kingdom for the heathen. Okay, it says also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. Okay, and that's what we're going to be doing in the kingdom. And right now, the only people that are following that right now is Israelites. That's what we're following. But in the kingdom, everybody's going to follow that. But that's not going to make them Israelites. They're just going to be, heathen that are forced to do our laws. That's what it's talking about. Okay. And ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year, and shall be a statute forever in your generations, and ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Okay, this is tabernacle of feast is what it's talking about. Ye shall dwell in the booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths. Only the Israelites. It's not saying everybody else. That your generations may know, and it says it's forever. That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your power, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. So if it's for, because Israel is the only ones who were led out of Egypt, not everybody else. That doesn't even make any sense that the heathen would get a part of this when it says it's only for Israel. That's what it's saying. It's plain, and when you go into, the Exodus, the 12th chapter, it kind of goes into, about, like he said, that word gar, and he goes into it, and, we'll go ahead and pull that part up. We'll pull it up since he mentioned it. I wasn't going to go into it because I didn't want to go too deep, He's got a whole bunch of other stuff he's putting up too. We'll go ahead and read them real quick. This is one I was going to put later. Isaiah 40:15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as a small dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing. Right? He don't care about the other nations. So why would they get to come in now and get to be a part of us? It's not going to happen. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. It don't matter how many offerings they try to give to the Lord. It's not going to be sufficient. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than nothing and vanity. He ain't worried about the other nations. Judges 5:11. They that are delivered from the noise of archers in the places of drawing water, there they shall rehearse the righteous acts for the Lord, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates. It's only for us. You know, it's not for everybody else. You know, it's not for them. We're going to go down to here and read this. You know, Passover the Lamb. Going to go down to 43. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. See? Right? You look up that word stranger. Right? It says nakar. It says nakar, right? And really how you say that is banakar. That's talking about an actual heathen. Okay? That's what it's talking about. That's why it says that they're not going to go in. But as you keep reading, right, they can't eat thereof. But it says, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. See, that's actually talking about what? An Israelite foreigner, somebody who was born outside of the land, but they were an Israelite. Every year they would go to the land of Israel and participate in the Passover, and they would dwell there. But after the Passover was over, they would go back to whatever land they was at. That's what it's talking about. That's why it says right here, a foreigner and hired servant shall not eat thereof. Right? See what I'm saying? But then it says a foreigner and hired servant shall not eat thereof, and one house shall it be eaten, and thou shalt not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And that's when you go into that word gar. Okay. Let me make sure I got the yeah, gar is talking about a sojourner, and that's what it means by, like, you know, right here in this one, talking about every man's servant is bought for money when thou hast circumcised it, then he shall eat thereof. That's talking about Israelite foreigner, gar. Okay, that's what it's talking about. You know, and like he said, it was in GH 16:16. That's what it's talking about. Okay, temporary inhabitant, a newcomer lacking inherited rights of foreigners in Israel. That's what it's talking about. Okay. When you look up this word foreigner, no, that's not the right one. Hold on. It's oh yeah. Verse 48 is where I want to show you that. This is where it talks about that. And when the stranger shall sojourn with thee and will keep the Passover to the Lord. See, because it just said up there, you know, a stranger shall not eat thereof. But down here it's saying a stranger will. See, that's talking about Israelite. Okay. So we're going to look up that word stranger. And it says gar. See, 8:16:16, gar. Okay. So it's talking about sojourner. See, it's just like he pulled up over there. Okay, that's what it's talking about. It's not talking about an actual heathen. That's talking about an Israelite foreigner, someone who wasn't born in the land, but is an Israelite and somewhere scattered. So when keep the Passover to the Lord, let all the males be circumcised, and let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. And that's how it was back then. You know, but since we're under, you know, grace, you know, it's been to where, like, you know, even if you're not physically circumcised, You know, if you're an Israelite, you can still keep the Passover. Okay. And that's why, like, you know, you have some of them, you know, sects of Jews, which is ultimately Judah, you know, Benjamin and Levi, mainly Judah. That's where Jude comes from, Judah, the tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes. You had some of them that were really pressing the law on the Israelites, but, you know, the Lord had it to where, you know, you had certain prophets come and tell them, like, don't do that. You know, don't pressure them to do the law, but there are certain laws they told them to try to keep, you know, and you know, circumcision wasn't the one, you know, in the flesh. It was more in the spirit. That's what he was saying. So it's all still dealing with Israelites, you know. So then we're gonna go right here after we done pointed that out. He went into 2 Kings chapter 17, okay, and he read through this, and he was talking about this is important history. This is basically when, you know, the northern kingdom was, you know, dragged into Syria, okay. So you want to read we're going to read this together to go over the account. This is Hoshea reigns over Israel. Hoshea, right? In the 12th year of Ahaz, king of Judah, began Hoshea, the son of Elah, to reign in Samaria over Israel 9 years. Right there, we're kicked out of Samaria. Okay, northern tribe. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, but not as the kings of Israel that were before him. Against came up Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, and Hoshea became his servant and gave him presents, right? And Shalmaneser, we talked about him the other day. And the king of Assyria found conspiracy in Hoshea, for he had sent messengers, so king of Egypt, and brought no present to the king of Assyria, and he had done as he had done year by year. Therefore the king of Assyria shut him up and bound him in prison. Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years, right? Came up there and started attacking them. Israel captive. Next verse 6. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria, okay, and placed them in Halal, in the harbor by the river of Gozan, in the cities of the Medes, right? And when you really go into, you know, all these different nations, the Medes and all these different people that we speak of that's today, like modern day Russia and stuff, you know, all of those, when you go into Japheth, those were originally dark nations, okay? Those are dark nations. None of the seed of Cain survived the flood, okay? So all the everybody who came out of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, they were all dark-skinned nations. But after, you know, Esau came back and took over those nations and took those names. He took those names for himself and their gods. That's why there a lot of that stuff like here today. Okay, it said that Cain would be a thief and a vagabond in the earth. His descendants are Esau, Edom, so-called white man. That's them. Okay. And, you know, we talk about how in the beginning, you know, it talked about the serpent was more subtle than any beast in the field. He was cunning. You know, it's like talking about a cunning man. And that man, he was basically like a melanated Edomite. He looked like us, but he was like, you know, he was their seed line. Okay. He wasn't of us. That's why he was like that. Okay. And then after he did everything he did, the Lord said he was going to curse him. And he did, you know. And he got his pigment taken. That's the whole thing that happened. Okay? Because everybody comes from the ground. So everybody was originally dark-skinned. Okay? And then he took his pigment. Okay? After he fooled Eve. Okay? That's what it's talking about. So next part, why Israel fell. For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against their Lord, their power, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, which have brought them out of the land of Egypt and from under the hand of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh in that day, those were the Canaanites. Okay, the Egyptians were the so-called Africans, the Hamites. Okay, so it's talking about. And feared other gods and walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom the Lord cast out from the children of Israel and the kings of Israel, which they had made, you know. And the children of Israel did secretly those things that were not right against the Lord their power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city, right? And they set them up images in groves and every high hill and under every green tree. And there they burnt incense in the high places, as did the heathen whom the Lord carried away before them, and wrought wicked things to provoke the Lord to anger. Okay, this is why we got cast out. For they serve idols, whereof the Lord has said unto them, ye shall not do this thing. Verse 13, yet the Lord testified against Israel and Judah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets. Every time we've been warned, it's always been by the prophets. Throughout the whole scriptures, it's always been by the prophets. The Lord always spoke to the prophets, never nobody else. He's doing it like that today. Notwithstanding, they could not hear, but harden their necks like the necks of their fathers, which is basically them, because when you go into reincarnation, you are your fathers. You are your forefathers, you know, that did not believe in the Lord their power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. And they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them. They followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them that they should not do like them, right? And they left all the commandments of the Lord their power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshiped all the host of heaven, and served Baal, right? And that was the same time when you go look over there, you know, in Jeremiah, that they're trying to use that, oh, he's going to help them. No, he's not talking about them. He's not talking about, like, you know, they're going to get to be part of us. He's talking about they're going to get forced to do this for making us go off and them going off. They're going to go into slavery for this. Verse 17, and they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and use divination and enchantments, right? And those 2 words, when you look up that word serpent in Genesis 3:15, when it talks about in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, it talks about that serpent. When you look it up, it says the serpent practiced divination, enchantments, and was a soothsayer. That's how you knew it was talking about an actual man. It wasn't talking about an actual serpent. Okay, it was talking about a seed line of a particular people, which later became Cain, then the Esau, even the so-called white man, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord and provoke him to anger. Verse 18, therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. See, we all got cast out. Judah also kept not the commandments of the Lord their power, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. Verse 20, and the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of the spoils, until he had cast them out of his sight, right? For he rent Israel from the house of David, and they made Jeroboam, right? Who's Jeroboam? That's the northern tribe king, okay, that we talked about. You got Rehoboam and Jeroboam. Rehoboam was, you know, both of them were King Solomon's sons, and Rehoboam was head of the tribe of Judah. Okay, and the only person that got left with him was Benjamin, but it got to the point where it was just them left, and then they got cast out. The son of the Nebat king, and Jeroboam drave Israel from following the Lord, and made them sin a great sin, right? That was sacrificing children to these other gods. Okay, and a lot of our people are still doing that today. All these famous people you see, they're doing that shit today. For the children of Israel walked in all the sins of Jeroboam, which he did. They departed not from them, until the Lord removed Israel out of his sight, as he has said by all his servants the prophets. So was Israel carried away out of their own land into Assyria unto this day. So see, Israel never got to go back to the lands of Israel. Unto this day, we're still there. We're still cast out under our enemies. Okay. Now we're going to show you some of these, show you that they're in the land right now. Okay. Of Israel, and they're over here serving these same gods that they're talking about they were serving right here. We're going to look up and show you what some of them are. It says, cities of Israel filled with strangers. Verse 24, and the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, right? Where we at now? America, Babylon the Great, right? This is talking about old Babylon right now. But they're worshiping the same gods that old Babylon worshipped, a lot of them, okay? A lot of people out here worshiping these same gods. And from Qatar, right? And these guys, Qatar, they're basically like Canaanites. They're so-called Africans. And from Ava and from Hamath and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel. Okay, so a lot of them went there, you know, and then it got to the point to where when Esau, Edom went and took down all these nations, they're in there. Okay, and they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. And it said in Psalms 49:11, Esau, Edom calls their lands after their own names. That's why you got like Africa is named after Africanus. That's a Roman Edomite. Okay, that's what they do. They go out there and name their own name, you know, they go out there and make names after their own names, you know. And so it was the beginning of their dwelling there, and they feared not the Lord. Therefore the Lord sent lions amongst them, which slew some of them. So the heathen were all in the land, and the Lord sent lions after them, and they were tearing their ass up, right? And they had to, and this is what they had to do to get the lions to stop attacking their ass. We'll read this first. Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power, which is talking about us, because it said all Israel fell. Okay, so we got kicked out of the land. Okay, they're over there. It said till this day, and it's going to say it again in a minute. Right, we're going to show you some of these guys. And he pointed this out because I said it, the water out. Psalms 49:11, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. See, that's what it came to after Esau, Edom took down everybody, because Esau, Edom was the one who took down the Japhetic people. The Japhetic people, you know, Apostle Ramlav was going into some of the pictures that they had, and, you know, they had long hair and shit. You know, that's where the Greeks got that from the Japhetic people, and started doing that shit. That's how they made their little Jesus Christ and shit with long hair and shit. They're getting a lot of that from the Japhetic people. Okay, they were dark-skinned people. I advise you to go watch that lesson. You'll learn a whole lot more. I'm just going into some of the side stuff he was talking about, saying the nations which thou hast removed and placed on the cities. Wait, we'll start up at the top. So, right, they slew some of them. Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, the nations which thou hast removed and placed the cities of Samaria, we know not the manner of the Most High of the land, because they were heathens. The Lord didn't teach the heathens, you know, our ways, you know. And even when we did, they still worship their gods. That's what we're going to show you. They're not going to ever worship Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Just like he said in Micah chapter 1, verse 14, the heathen dread the name of the Lord. They're terrified of the name of the Lord. That's why they changed the name in all the faces in the Bible to so-called white people. It's terrified of the name of the Lord, because they know what he did in the land of Egypt and all the other places. Okay, they know what he did. Know not the manner. Know not the manner of the Most High of the land. Therefore, he have sent lions among them, and behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the Most High in the land. So, Lord, put the spirit on these lions to tear motherfuckers up. Verse 27, then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, which is talking about a Levite, okay, a so-called Haitian. In that day, you know, only the Haitians were priests, okay, and let them go and dwell there and teach them the manner of the Most High of the land. And one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria into Assyria, right, came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Lord, right? Howbeit, every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places, which the Samaritans have made every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt. And the men of Babylon made Succoth-Benoth, right? Right? So Succoth-Benoth, who is that? I'm going to show you what his name is, and we're going to show you who that is, and show you that a lot of this shit is here. Okay, a lot of these same gods are being worshipped. Okay.
Strong's H 5524. Sukkoth Benoth.
So they say Sukkoth.
Sukkoth
It
Benoth.
says Sukkoth Benoth, right? It says a Syrian or Babylonian deity worshipped by the Babylonians in Samaria. So that's why we say this is spiritually Assyria, spiritually Babylon. I'm going to show you some of these guys. Okay, hold on. That's the burnt wig I seen. Hold on. Screen captures. Pull them all up. Show them folder. Okay. I'll go find all these pictures I just took so I can have all these when I pull it up. So the first one. So I went and looked them up, and I'm going to show you what they mean. So and that's not the one I want. Hold on. We're going to go down right here. Yeah, this is the first screenshot. It's going into this guy. So Sukkoth Benoth, right? And let me do this. Let me type them in because I want to show you something. Because you remember this is the guy that what's his name? Jay-Z worships. Okay. We're going to show you the God that he worships because he named one of his albums basically linking back to this God. Okay. We're going to show you. It says Sukkoth Benoth. Okay. It's a Babylonian deity, one of the deities brought to the former kingdom of Samaria by the men of Babylon. Right. 9th year Hoshea. We just read that. Right. Now you go down to right here. It says, according to the Sahedrin, Sukkoth Benoth was a hen, according to the Avodah Zarah, a hen of her chicks, thus associating this god with the astrological constellation Pleiades, Pleiades, right? Right. Hold on. I just want to show you right here. It says Pleiades, and it's Pleiades is also known as the Seven Sisters and the Messiah 45. Is it because they worship the stars and stuff? It's an astrum of an open star cluster containing young B-type stars in the northwest of the constellation Taurus, right? At a distance of about 444 light years, right? 444 light years, right? What did Jay-Z make? What's that album that he made? Jay-Z, what he made? What album he made? 444, 444. That's what he's worshiping. Okay? See? All that stuff goes back to Babylonian gods. That's how we call this place America Babylon the Great. You know? And we know that he was there when 9/11 happened. He dropped that damn album called The Blueprint. You know, fucking with them small hats and shit. All this stuff goes back to Babylonian gods. When you go look it up. Okay? It goes back to you know, star worship and all this other bullshit. Okay? I'm gonna show you another one. So Sukkoth Benoth, that was what the men were worshiping. That's what he's worshiping. Then these other ones made Nergal. Okay? These guys of Kuth. Okay, and we'll click on Kuth and show you who they are real quick. Show you who they are. These guys. Oh damn. Let me go back. He only mentions them in this passage. They're only mentioned, you know, in this passage. We'll go get this from the brother Rick. He read in the NLT. This is a good one, the water. This is NLT, Ecclesiastes 1 verse 9. History merely repeats itself. It has all been done before. nothing under the sun is truly new. That's why we keep telling you, like, there ain't none of this shit new. Right? It says a place, Cuth means crushing, a place from which King Sargon of Assyria, and that was another king that took, the northern tribe into captivity of Assyria. We was talking about him, Sargon II, the other day, of Assyria, imported colonists into Israel. See, he put a lot of these other heathen into Israel. It said about 20 miles northeast of Babylon. See, these heathens put them in there. So now they think they Israel because they're serving. They try to go in there and serve our gods, but since they're a heathen, they kept doing their shit. We're gonna show you that they didn't even follow our shit. They just kept worshiping these gods, just like today. So Nergal means hero, right? One of the chief deities of Assyria and Babylonian, worshipped by the men of Cuth, right? These
Strong's H 5370. Nergal.
Nergal. That's how they say it. Let me get back to my other screen with my photos. Hold on. My computer's going real slow. Okay. So we got that one done. Exit that out. Go here to the next one. All right. Just gonna go into some gods, and we're gonna show you the one that you're worshiping if you worship New Year's. Okay, it all goes back to Babylon. It says Nergal, right? It says a Mesopotamian god worshipped through all periods of Mesopotamian history from the early dynastic and Neo-Babylonian times, with a few attestations indicating that this his cult survived into the period of the Achaemenid domination. He was primarily associated with war, death, and disease, and has been decided as the god of inflicted death. That's why you have the central disease control people, and they got all them labs, and they just got all them diseases in there, and they weaponize them. That's why I said inflicted death. They inflict death on people. Okay, they put it in the food and shit. Okay, they put it in fucking drugs and cocaine, and they flick these drugs on people. That's that god. Okay, they're worshiping this shit. Okay, this is another one of the gods they worship. Okay, central disease control got all these damn diseases fucking stored. Well, if they really didn't want the diseases around, they would have just destroyed them. They're using them as weapons against the elect, ultimately. Okay, so we're gonna look up this other god. I was just going through these gods because they were talking about the god Bacchus. So we're gonna go through some more of them. And of the men of Hamath, right, or Hamat, that's how I think it's gonna say. It's gonna say it in the Arabic Hebrew. It says fortress. That's what that means. A principal city of Upper Syria in the valley of Ornotes. So that's where it is. It's still in Syria. We're still over there. Okay. They made this god, Ashima. Okay. I'm going to show you all this shit goes back to Babylon right now. Ashima means guiltiness. And it says, I will make desolate. That's that name. That's what that name means. Okay, in the Arabic Hebrew. Then you go over here. It says Ashima was a West Semitic goddess of fate, related to the Akkadian goddess Sheptai, who was a goddess of her own right, but also the title of her goddesses, which was Damkina and Ishtar. See, these are the same gods they're worshiping. And when it talks about faith, what do you got? You got those soothsayers, you got the card readers, you got the fortune tellers, the motherfuckers with the crystal balls and shit here. That's the god that you're worshiping if you go fuck with that shit. Ashima. Okay? That's what you're worshiping. Okay? All this shit is in Babylon right now. Okay? You'll go to the next one. Okay. And this one is the one I was talking about. Like, let me go back. Let me go back to that other one first, and we're going to show you something. Going to show you something. This is just for like brothers, you know, really for brothers, this lesson, you know, just stuff that I was studying, you know, we don't get to see each other all the time in person. So, you know, this is how we study together, online shit, you know. So, where's the other one? It says it over here somewhere. It talks about this other god named Nabu. Okay. Let me see if I can find it before I go to it. But it's this other god named Nabu. See, Akkadian Nabu, right? It goes back to this, that Ashima, right? And they're talking about fate and whatnot and all that, right? When you go, yeah, I can't find it in here right now. I found it earlier, but it's going into this guy. But when you go look at the goddess, the god Nabu, it says it's one of the more important minor deities of Babylon, Assyrian pantheon. The god Nabu, Akkadian Nabu, the called. It says the called appears in the code of the Hammurabi in the early 2nd millennium BC as the son of a national god, Marduk, and a tutelary deity of the city Borsippa, right? The south city, to the south of the city of Babylon, and its temple, Azita, right? It later documents the characterized as divine scribe, writer, or bearer of the tablets of destiny, right? When you go down here, it says the cult of Nabu originated and remained strong in Babylonia, right? Babylon, where it played an important part in the annual New Year festival at Babylon. That's talking about New Year's. That's what y'all doing right now. You're celebrating, you're worshiping Nabu. If you go and go out on New Year's and say 3, 2, 1, Happy New Year, you're doing the same thing that they were doing in Babylon. That's what you're doing. That's why we don't do it. Okay. And people are like, why don't you go to New Year's? Why don't you do these holidays? Because look, it's going back to Babylonian gods. That's why we say y'all motherfuckers who's out here doing this shit is Babylonians. That's why we're saying that. You know? This is where the shit comes from. Your shit ain't even your shit. You thought your whole New Year's celebration was, you know, you thought you was brand new. You thought you was like new on motherfucking what's that show? Thought you was new on that movie ATL with your new motherfucking earrings on. You niggas ain't new. You niggas is old news. We're gonna go into some more of them. And the Avites made Nabaz and Tartak, right? So this other guy, Nabaz, hold on. He looks like a fucking like dog. Okay, let me show you. American Babylon the Great is an old hoe. She act like she knew. She old as hell. This bitch need to get destroyed. Let's read this real quick so we can keep over the precepts. Psalms chapter 79, verse 1. Oh, power. You know, when it just says, oh, God. It's supposed to be, this thing's, you know, it's supposed to be a higher case. I think that's talking about Yahawah. Yeah, oh, power. The heathen are come into thine inheritance. The holy temple they have defiled and laid Jerusalem on heaps. See? That's how you know we're not in the land. We're not in the land right now. Okay? We're going to look up this god, Nahaz. And it's linked to this god. Okay? Nabhaz, a deity of Avim during the Shalmaneser the first, right? some of the indications of worship have been found in Syria between Beertus and Tripolis, right, in the form of a dog. Okay, and then it also says, others identified Nabhaz with the Persian god Abnakazah, even with the Babylonian Nabu, going into that fucking worship. That's why you see like a lot of them in New York, they'll go pay the fare. They'll get on the ferry. They'll get on that thing, the boat, and they'll pay the what was it called? They'll pay a terry or something. What was it called? I think it's called a ferry or something. But it's known to I'm gonna see if I can find it. And then what was that guy's name? It was yeah, Anubis. Yeah, you'll pay like a ferry to go across the river. Yeah. I think it's a ferry. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, ferry con the water. That's what I thought it was. I just wanted to double check and make sure I know what I was talking about. Yeah, they believe that dog worship Anubis, right? Which we knew the Egyptians was what? The so-called Africans. Okay, the Hamites. Okay, they would worship Anubis. They had all them dog fucking shit up there. That's where Esau Edom got that shit from them. Okay, and it talked about how it says the god of funerary rides, right? A fairy, a protector of graves, and the guide to the underworld, an ancient Egyptian religion, usually depicted by a canine or a man with a canine head. All this stuff goes back. Everything you do in America goes back to Babylon. And that's why we say this place is spiritually Babylon, or spiritually Sodom and Egypt too, because it goes back to their worship too, the stuff that they worshipped in Egypt. That's why you pay a fare, you pay a fare to go fucking cross the river. Okay, all this shit goes back to them. Okay, and I just wanted to mention all this stuff because, no brothers have done lessons on this. I had to go study this stuff, and that's what you're supposed to do, Jake. You're supposed to go study stuff and point this stuff out. That's what we do. As prophets, we go over here and point stuff out. And I'm a young brother, so, this ain't really nothing that's like super like just you gotta know. But I like going into stuff and talking about it because I'm studying right now. Like I'm learning a lot, as I go along because I'm a new brother. So we got just like one more, I think, and then I got like a few more precepts, and we got like maybe 2 little quick articles, and one of the younger elders was going into something, and we're gonna get out of here. I know it's a little bit long, but we going into this stuff, man, because the elders and apostles is going to this. And they didn't mention the Second Kings, like they said, go read through it. He mentioned a little bit of it, but I wanted to go into it, and go into some of these gods. So these are the same gods that these Babylonians are worshiping today. So Tartak, right? This guy, right? Okay, and it says the Prince of Darkness. Okay, one of the gods of the Arabites who colonized parts of the area after the portion of Israel by Shalmaneser in the book of 2 Kings in the 17th chapter. That's where we're at, right? And they even have a band called Tartak in Ukraine, talking about guitar, rock, and hip hop dance music. See, they're getting this is and who's helping Ukraine? America, Babylon the Great. Okay, the shit is like all throughout the This is all throughout like the history here and why they do this shit. But there was something. It said metaphysical meaning of Tartak, right? It says a demoniac thought or condition of ignorance, error, limitation, hero of darkness, prince of darkness, deep of darkness. And it said that the land was covered in gross darkness in the scriptures. This is why, because there a lot of people were worshiping this god, Tartak. Okay. These are the gods that they followed. Okay. They're not going to follow Yahawashi. They're going to follow this shit. Right. And the Sepharvites burnt their children in fire to Adramelech and Anamelech, the gods of Sepharvium, I think. Sepharvium. Yeah. And when you look up both of those names, they both go back to Molech. We talked about the other day. I ain't gonna look them up, but they go back to Molech. Like we talked about that one day. Okay. So those are the gods that they're worshiping today. They didn't come and worship our God. They're not gonna just do all that shit and the Lord just the Lord's just gonna just fucking just let them in. No. Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30. It reads, take heed to thyself that thou not be snared by following them. Because when you follow these holidays, you follow doing Valentine's Day, Christmas, everything, you're actually worshiping a type of God. That's what you're doing. And that's why you're not going to be able to make it out of here. That's why we said, you know, like it said, rise ye and depart, Micah 2:10, for this is not your rest. This place is not for Jake. You know, that's why apostles are saying, stay out of this shit, because everything in here is worshiping a fucking God. Stay away from all this shit. That's why they're saying that. Even if you're not going in the same spirit as them, stay away from these places. The Lord's about to fuck this shit up. You know, that's what they're saying. So after that, they be destroyed from before thee, and that thou inquired not after their gods, right? Saying, how did these nations serve their gods? Even so, I will do likewise. And that's what 2/3 of our people are doing here right now. They're worshiping these other gods, and they think they're worshiping the Lord, but they're doing Christmas. They're doing all these different types of holidays, and all this stuff goes back to Babylonian gods, man, and Assyrian gods. That's what we say. This is spiritually Babylon, spiritually Assyria. She worshiping the same gods, and it was one of them that goes back to one of these other gods. I'm gonna go pull it up real fast. One of these other guys, it goes back to that movie Thor. Okay, that movie Thor, the dude with the electricity coming out of his hands and shit. It goes back to that. I'm gonna finish off what you said in a second. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up something. And even though I said I wasn't gonna pull it up, it reminded me I want to pull it up just to show how much this place is, you know, Babyloned out. It's really fucking Babylon, man. So yeah, that was right. I already looked that up. Yeah, ignorance, error, you know, that's why they call this place Babylon, confusion. These are the gods they're worshiping. Now the other one, Adramelech, his whole thing, they said he can do is levitate, shoot ice lightnings, project light rays with his peacock tail, and even teleport himself in clouds of smoke. That's really going to like stuff like Thor and shit, you know, with the hammer and shit. They just kind of revised it and made it look like, you know, it was some new shit. It's the same gods they're worshiping. Okay, it's the same gods. Okay, and this one is the one I was talking about. This is another god they sacrificed by fire, Anamelech. That was another person they made children sacrifice to. That's why a lot of that shit's going down here. So it says, so they fear the Lord. Verse 32, back to 2 Kings 7, verse 32. Let's read this first. It says, this is back to the brother, Deuteronomy 12 and 31. Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy power, for every abomination to the Lord which he hateth have they done unto their gods. For even their sons and their daughters have burnt they have burnt in the fire to their gods. See, it's all over the scriptures of them doing this shit. They're doing this shit today. That's why you're seeing 300,000 children went missing, and they only mentioned it once, and there ain't nobody else talking about that shit no more. Verse 32, what thing is the prophets? What thing soever I commanded you observe to do it, and thou shalt not add thereunto or diminish from it. So when the elders say stop doing some shit, don't do it, Jay. Just don't fucking do it. Don't make no excuses and don't do nothing. Okay? Because they're warning us. Lord's finna fuck this place up. Verse 32, so they feared the Lord. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 32, so they feared the Lord and made unto themselves the lowest of them priests of the high places, which sacrificed for them in the houses of the high places. See, they tried to fix everything. They feared the Lord and served their own gods after the manner of the nations whom they carried away from thence. See, so even though they feared the Lord, they still served their own gods. That's how they are today. They still talked about, you know, the heathens still fear the name of the Lord or whatever, but they still gonna worship their own gods. They're never gonna come and serve Yahawashi until they're forced, and they're never gonna be immortal. They're not gonna get to come into the tabernacle. Verse 34, unto this day they do after the former manners. They fear not the Lord, neither do they after their statutes, nor after their ordinances. See, unto this day, after their ordinances, or after the law and the commandments which the Lord commanded the children of Jacob, right? Whom he named Israel, which is in Genesis 35:10. It's all over the Bible to show you that Jacob is Israel. That's who he's dealing with. Verse 35, with whom the Lord had made a covenant and charged them, saying, ye shall not fear other gods, nor bow yourselves to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them. But the Lord who brought you up out of the land of Egypt with great power and a stretched out arm shall ye fear, and him ye shall worship, and to him ye shall do sacrifice. See, we can go ahead and read the rest. And to the statutes and the ordinance of the law and the commandment which he wrote for you, ye shall observe to do forevermore, and ye shall not fear other gods. So this Jesus Christ person with the long hair, they're getting that from the Edomites, are getting that from the Japhetic people who are actually dark-skinned people. Okay, there's pictures of all them, you know, and the elders and apostles are talking about that today. Okay, they were showing pictures of them. So it says, but the Lord your power ye shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hand of all your enemies. And when he does that, that doesn't mean that he's going to deliver us out of your hand and then you get to come be with us. That doesn't make any sense. Howbeit they did not hearken, but did after their former manner, right? Reincarnation, they're doing the same shit. Verse 41, so these nations feared the Lord and served their graven images, both their children and their children's children, as did their fathers, so do they unto this day. What are they doing? All these damn holidays, fucking New Year's, all this bullshit. Sacrificing the babies and shit, sacrificing babies to Molech and shit. They're doing the same shit. Ain't nothing changed, Jake. They're not getting in the tabernacle. You know, and that's why, like, they got kicked out of the land. Because when you go to Genesis chapter 9, it talks about how the Lord cursed Ham's son Canaan. And right, Israel used to be named the land of Canaan. And after the 40 years of us wandering in the wilderness, all the Israelites that didn't trust in the Lord died in the wilderness. He sent Joseph and Caleb over there, and they took over the land, and which made it the land of Israel. And then they got kicked out. We got kicked out because we fucked up, but we had to. That was the way of the Lord. That's what, that was part of the prophecy for us to go off. So those are some things I wanted to mention. I got a couple more things I want to point out. Give me a second. There's a couple more things I want to point out. So they tried to use this too. Acts chapter 17. Verse 26, this guy who's this Yah Israelite guy tried to use this too. And he said, and let's start at 24. Acts 17:24. The Most High made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is the Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in the temples made with hands, right? So we know that going to the churches is going off. Verse 25, neither is worship with men's hands, as though he needed anything, seeing that he giveth to all life and breath and all things, and this is what they try to use, and have made of one blood all nations of men to dwell on the face of the earth, and have determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation, right? So they're trying to say, since we all have one blood, we all get to come together. No, he didn't. He separated the sons of Adam. Okay, Deuteronomy 32:8. He separated the sons of Adam. So even though we all come from the dust, all come from the ground, just like he told the serpent, he was going to separate his seed line from Israel. Doesn't matter if we all bleed red. That don't fucking matter. Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam and set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Verse 9. For the Lord's portion is his temple. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance, not everybody else. Not everybody else got that inheritance. And Israel got their land last. Everybody else got lands, and then we got the best land, the last one. Just like he said in the New Testament, he set forth the apostles last. Everybody here got these whack-ass doctrines, and he set up the apostles last, and we got the right one. You know? We got the right doctrine. Okay? He gave everybody else their whack-ass doctrines, and then he gave the elders and apostles theirs. And that's the last one that was given as an inheritance. And then all you got these Johnny-come-latelys coming out talking about, you're not even explaining everything. Well, that just means your ass is a nigga and you can't get it. So I wanted to go into that stuff, going into that lesson he did, you know, because I did a lot of studying today. It was very edifying. So now we're going to go over here. And the young elder from New York, GMS Awakening 144, he's been the truth, you know, long time. You know, I would say in his life as you know, as how young he is, he got taught by Apostle Tahar, you know, so that's why we call him an elder. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 17, verse 17. For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he is set a ruler over every people. Israel is the Lord's portion. Verse 18, whom being his firstborn, he nourisheth with discipline, and giving him the light of his love, doeth not forsake him. See, they're not dealing with y'all. They're not dealing with the heathens. So even if y'all do come and follow the laws or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just like in this time, let's say, let's say like you say you're an American and you follow American customs and you go to work and your job is a manager and you have all these titles. What happens when you get pulled over by Esau Edom? They don't give a fuck about none of it. They say ID. What is your identification? They go, this is a black male, 4, 5, 9, 6, whatever. That's how it is in the kingdom. As it is on earth is in heaven. It don't matter what you do. You come down here and serve us and our people or whatever and follow the laws. But when the Lord identifies your ass, if you're not one of us, you're going into slavery. And if you Esau Edom, you're getting destroyed. It doesn't fucking matter. Whatever you do, that is your lot. Okay? And he made sure that was to be known. And I'm going to pull it up after I pull up the brothers' last two scriptures right here. We're going back to Ecclesiastes 17:19. Therefore, all of their works are as the sun before him, and his eyes are continually upon their ways. Verse 20, none of their righteous deeds are hid from him, but all their sins are before the Lord. You're not getting way. And he made sure that he had two different lots. He had two different lots, one for all of Israel and then the rest for all the other Gentiles. Okay, what you're talking about, heathen. Additions to Esther 10, verse 10. Therefore, he had made two lots, one for the people of the Most High, talking about the Israelites, and another for all the Gentiles. It's everybody else. Verse 11, and these two lots came at the hour and time and day of judgment before the Most High among all nations. See, you don't get to come in this lot. This lot is not for you, and lot means destiny. You're not coming in this destiny. Your destiny is to go your ass into slavery for fucking with Israel. Verse 12, so the Most High remembered his people and justified his inheritance. We're the ones who's going to get the inheritance. Lord willing, if we are that number, but all Israel will be saved. But we want to be of the elect. We want to be the ones who get to run shit in this bitch. You know, especially the men teaching 144,000. That's what the 144 are doing right now. They're teaching which ones are here. Some of them are not here right now, but some of them are. That's why you want to be really grinding, Jake, because he doesn't have to have all of them here for their work to be complete. He only needs a little bit of them. The rest of them's up there. Like King Masha, he was King David. He's up there right now, waiting to come back down with Yahawashi and tear this bitch up with him. We'll read this one, and then we're going to play this video from the elder. Psalms chapter 147, verse 19, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation, as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. That's why when they're getting torn up by the lions and Second Kings, they said, bring Levite over here. We need to learn how to do this shit because the Lord didn't give it to them. Talking about he gonna put y'all in the land and y'all gonna get to learn and just be your whole point, your whole lot is to be a slave to the Israelites, a tributary to the Israelites forever. That's why I said that. You'll be tributaries forever. Never get in this tabernacle. So this is what the brother was going into. We'll pull a couple precepts on this, and then I got one more little small article. Got one precept on that, and then we out of here.
During the time of the C-19, when everything was locked down, people was not coming in, you know. But as soon as it was declared, not a medical, I forget what they term it, but not an emergency on a global scale. As soon as they ended ended it being called a scamdemic or whatever, that's when you had all these different caravans, all these so-called caravans. But how the hell are these people from East Africa coming over here into America? They ain't coming in vans, bro. Okay, they're not coming in vans. Esau probably got them cargo ships, cargo planes, and dumping these mother effers here for whatever reason. All right, but we gonna find out. But fuck these nations. I'm talking about our people, the tribes. All right. Now for the tribes, the masses started coming in on this large scale recently, so to speak. Right, the Trojan horse, and that was during this this old senile, you know, devil, Biden's administration, which he's still king of Babylon up until 2025, January the 20th, inauguration date. So you people out there, you're not in the clear yet. Now don't get too excited just yet. Anything can happen between now and January the 20th, okay? Before President Trump, so-called ex-President Trump, or 45 is sworn in. You know, but anyway, here it is. They brought all these people in. And now Trump, who got selected to be president, okay, because he didn't get elected by the people. It was all selection. The elite said that they were going to make him win and set him up to be, you know, the king of Babylon. Now he's talking about as soon as he enter into office, mass deportations are going to take place. So now you're telling me these other devils on the left-hand side, because they're on the left, all right? But I'm talking about the left wing, brought these people in, all right? Brought them all in, gave them welfare, gave them shelter, gave them more shit than the average American or New Yorker. I'm talking about New York because Mayor Adams of New York said that he cutting all funds. Matter of fact, he already started cutting the funds. All right, here it is. They brought in which I don't give a shit about that, you know, because you got Jake, you talk to Jake get mad that so-called Venezuelans are coming here receiving aid. I don't give a fuck about that. You know, Jake, see that's division for Jake. Jake is like, how these these Spanish motherfuckers coming here and receiving it. Jake don't know what's going on. Jake don't realize that it's a psyops. Everything that's happening is a psyops, man. A psychological operation on the people to further bring forth this new world order agenda and mass chaos that's eventually going to take place. You know, so I don't care about that. Let them receive their Federal Reserve. I don't give a shit. They all part of what's about to be the problem. And we recognize that. And when that shit happen, we going to step back and let these 2/3 have their way with each other. You know, so here it is. You know, they've been funding these individuals and giving them this, giving them that, brought them here to Babylon, getting X amount of money, getting more shit than you women out there can get in food stamps and government assistance. You know, our people know how to use the word, not abuse it, but instantaneously they getting it like that. right? Now they feeling good about themselves. Now when they cut that shit off, kill their little dream and burst their bubbles, and then Trump gets up in there talking about they're gonna have to fucking go back to their effed up ass third world country and shit that Esau fucked up to begin with. How you think they're gonna react? All right, what you think is gonna happen? You think them niggas are just gonna willy-nilly just go back how they came?
And they not. And I want to put this precept in real quick just to show what they gonna do. Because he gonna show a video too. And then we're gonna pull up a couple articles about Trump and one more thing, and then we gone. Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 5. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic, talking about slavery, through slavery, thou hast increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because thy riches, right? Heart is talking about your mind, right? Verse 6. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High, right? Verse 7. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations. They shall draw their swords against thy beauty, against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. So when he tries to kick him out, it's going to cause a lot of fucking chaos, man. That's what he's talking about. Okay, going to cause a lot of chaos. So this is what we're supposed to be doing. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. When you look at that word wiles, it means like trickery. This is all a psyop, just like he was saying. It's all just a fucking facade. Okay, it's not. This is all set up. This is a snare. Okay, the water for putting that up, going into it. Yeah, cunning arts, deceit, craft, trickery. Okay, and that's how I said the serpent was. That's why I said in Revelation that serpent, that old dragon, the dragon, that old serpent. He's the same people that's back today doing the same thing, tricking Jake, thinking that this is all just like some just random events going on and shit. When it's really like they're setting it up to bring order out of chaos, bring in the new world order. And they're gonna want to set up all their Babylonian gods to worship. Okay. So our Lord's got the apostle saying, back the fuck away from this place all the way. Get the fuck back all the way. Because you have brothers, even when I got to go down to Dallas and go see the brothers and stuff, it was a different vibe than it is now. And that wasn't even that long ago. Like, it's getting way more serious, Jake. We got to back up even more from this place. So I said offend less. We all be having our times where, we got stuff we got to work on. But that shit, we got to start cutting more and more off day by day, cutting more and more shit off. So by the time we get to Jacob's trouble, the Lord's like, all right, you did what I said do. And he protects us. So you're going to keep watching this.
No. All right. That's not going to happen. This is going to be chaos, man. I was watching Canadian Prepper this morning. He made a little statement on that. He said that he made a statement on that. He said, Trump talking about he's going to bring in mass deportation. He should have said, I don't see that happening. I see chaos happening if he attempts to do that. But you got to remember, all right, the model is order at chaos. So let me play this video, and I'll stop in between and bring out the preset.
A caravan of approximately 3,000 migrants leaving Tapachula in southern Mexico is to the U.S. southern border. The group of migrants is made up of people from Venezuela, Ecuador, Colombia, Peru, Haiti, Costa Rica, Panama, Nepal, Afghanistan, and Central America, La Verdad reports. The migrants are hoping to make their way to the United States before President-elect Donald Trump takes office on January 20th. As the migrants make the trek, some say they're leaving.
Now I got more, not because of, oh God. Hey, bro, this is a recipe for disaster. Now you have, I did the video on it. I can't remember how long ago.
So just like he said, Biden is still president right now, king of Babylon. So he's still letting these migrants in, and who knows how many he's gonna let in from now to January 20th, to where Trump is gonna have to handle that shit. It's gonna be fucking chaos in here. They're gonna defile the brightness and fuck this place up. That's what they're setting up, so they can have reason to bring out their drones and their robots and shit and start martial law, civil war and shit. Okay, this is what's gonna pop off.
But I did a few videos on it. The cloud pivot strategy. overloading the system and overloading the system to the point where demands can be met. All right, the demands cannot be met. It is, yo, it's about to get ugly out here, man. It is about to get ugly. These people don't have the truth. Now, can the Lord wake up some of these members? And can they be us? Can some of them be up the elect? Absolutely. But they're not coming here because they saw us on the street corners and they come to listen to the word of the Most High. That's not why they coming here. They're coming here in hopes for a better future for themselves, their families, and whatnot. All right, the ones who don't know what's going on, the sincere ones probably, right? That's why they come here. Now, once they're told that, yo, you ain't getting shit, it's gonna be survival of the fittest out here. We about to go back to the fucking laws of the jungle. You know, things about to get real ugly out here. Real ugly out here. You know, and you people out here that's soft and cotton, you know, fucking Charmin soft like tissue, you ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. If you ain't got the spirit of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, if you're not part of your elect, you're not gonna make it. Male, women, you know, children, whatever. You see, shit is about to get ugly out here. Remember, Trump was the same mother effer that said straight up that the Venezuelan government is releasing prisoners into our country, blah, 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 blah. Shit is about to get ugly. This is orchestrated division getting ready to take place. You know? Straight up, man. Straight up. Yup. Tazapani, Jeremiah 51:14. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. Man, bro, shit is about to hit the fan. You know, matter of fact, they're gonna come swarming in. That's that great multitude that have that that's kindled against thee, like it says in the Apocrypha. You can put that up too, bro. You know, great multitude that's kindled against them. That's all them troops. That's all these nations. That's all these people that's going to siege and besiege Jerusalem all over again. And even Jerusalem themselves, which is the Israelites, are going to get caught up in the shenanigans, man. You know, it's going to get ugly out here, bro. It's going to become a cutthroat society. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? This is going to be the Jacob's trouble that we've been prophesying about from the apostles on down. This is going to be that Jacob's trouble. This is going to be the all hell breaking loose. You know, and then in the midst of all this, easily Esau going to make this thing mandatory. You're going to make what mandatory? That seed, the charagma, the chip, the mark of the beast. You know, that's going to be the hour of temptation. That's going to be here. This society is crumbled. Society is fucked up. Everything is messed up. You know, the currencies, everything is just wiped out. We in a state of chaos. And here it is, they implement the MOTB and make it mandatory. People are going to flock to this shit. My people are led, like 2 Kings 15, my people are led as a flock to the slaughter. If you take the chip, you're going to be slaughtered.
Right? You take that chip, you're going to get slaughtered, Jake. You ain't going to make it out of here. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. So I would tell you, like, that's why the apostles are saying, don't fucking do nothing, Jake. Just go the fuck home, go to work, go the fuck home. Because the famine of the word's almost here. You know, and the elders is like, you know, they're very timely on things. Like, like I'm telling you, Jake, like they didn't just say that shit today for just whatever, just to like be like on some controlling shit. They're saying that because it's time to pull away from this place. All the way. All the way, man. All the way. Because all of us, you know, you got Jake, sometimes they go to a bar, play pool and shit, and, you know, with a brother or something, you know, they used to be like, that's cool, whatever, just, you know, be circumspect. But now it's like, nah, don't do none of that. Because they're finna say, stop teaching. That's what's coming. They're finna say, stop teaching. That's what's finna happen real soon. That's why they're going extra hard. All the brothers is going extra hard, doing videos on top of videos. Yeah. Isaiah 19 verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, right? Talking about, you know, Edomite versus Edomite, civil war, you know, and also Russia versus America, because they're both Edomites. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. See? Whole World War III finna come pop off. You know, Esau setting that snare. And then
another thought. And I believe one of the apostles had said it at the closing of the camp, but it's a thought I thought about too. There's gonna be so many ways Esau gonna, like I asked the brother Habakkuk, woe unto him that give his neighbor strong drink. A brother put it up. Woe to him that giveth his neighbor strong drink, or drink and put it to his, his mouth. Here, drink that. Like you forcing your neighbor to drink. So now that's Esau enticing these people to get the sea hip. Now they could say, listen, all these people here, all these people, came over here and illegally, blah, 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 whatever, migrants, whatever. You want to stay? Take the chip. Easy.
Yep.
Easy.
Yep.
Fucking easy peasy.
Yep. This is how they finna do it, man. This is how they getting them. They trying to get as many jakes as they can get to take that bitch. Because they know this place is meant for destruction. Okay? On 2/3 of our people. Okay? And that's including all the motherfuckers coming over here. The Lord's making sure everybody is in this bitch that needs to get hit by them missiles.
Here so greasy, so easy. They gonna take the chip. The 2/3 among them are gonna take the chip, which is the majority. You know what I'm saying? Easily. I always bring up the point of debt. Esau can come with a program, right? To where he can erase your debt if you take the chip. Easily. Just why? Because it's all digits and numbers on a computer screen. Or you owe the IRS $20,000, $10,000, $100,000, whatever $1,000. You're indebted. You owe Chase. You owe Citibank. You owe this bank, that bank. You about to file for bankruptcy. Take the chip and we'll clear your debt. The debt clearing program.
Right. The Great Reset. We talked about it before.
Esau can just push out there and have everybody take the chip, man. Shit about to get ugly, bro. Yeah. If Jake out here still think this shit is a joke, man, we see the angles. We have the prophetic outlook. We are the seers, all right? In the ancient time in the scriptures, the prophets were known as seers, the visionaries. They seen this shit before it happened. Like a big.
Hold on. Give me a second. We're not gonna even answer your question, bro. We ain't around here playing, bro.
Big game of chess that the Most High created.
Their countries because where they're from is dangerous. They have no security or job opportunities to support their families. Cartel violence, high unemployment, and economic crises in South and Central America are driving more people toward the United States. The caravan.
That was one clip.
Immediately upon taking the oath of office, I will launch the largest deportation program in America.
Let's see how that goes.
Right. So I got to pull up one more. Article that's going to go into this other thing, Donald Trump, that he just showed. I got the article for that, but I got one more that I went and found and sent to my Gmail. Give me one second. And there's a prayer I wanted to put up, but I'll probably do a small video on that, and then I want to add something that one of the elders in Dallas, El Yahawah, and I don't think it was El Yahawah, it was I can't remember who just did a video, but it was on Elder Yahawah's backup page. Oh, Elder Ariala. He just did a video going into this woman talking about certain things, and I got a video I want to put and add with that, and then something else that the brother sent me, but I'll do it later on. Lord willing, I'll take a break for a couple hours to come back and do it. I want to do all this tonight so I can make sure that whatever happens tomorrow, I'm ready to learn. Because you got to be on your shit, Jake, because they is moving. Those apostles are moving every day. You miss a day, your ass be all behind. This is Psalm 86, verse 3. Be merciful unto me, O Lord. I cry unto thee daily. Right? Daily. That's why I say do a video every day. This is just crying out to the Lord. Give ear, O Lord, unto my prayer and attend to the voice of my supplications. And so we can never go far enough with that. We constantly crying out to the Lord. In the day of my trouble, I will call upon thee, for thou wilt answer me. And we're already doing that right now. We already know we're in trouble right now. Among the gods, there is none like unto thee, O Lord, neither are there any works like unto thy works. Man, brother on fire over there. He just going in with me. Boy, he posting everything. Everything is going in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all bust him outside on his men, man. We up all in the middle of the night. I know that. I know these other cancers. You know, they weary at GMS. Up all night, all day. You just dropping videos. It says Trump's tariff plan: get ready to pay more, earn less, and increase the national debt. That's what's coming because they got to remember how they had that thing with the. So while he's doing a deportation thing, he's talking about making you pay more, earn less, and increase the national debt. And well, that's happened to Biden's like, hurry up, get in here before it's too late. Hey, man, if you don't see that this is getting set up for World War III Civil War here in Babylon the Great, you ain't gonna never see it. And you got this one dude coming over there, man. You hear me? Coming over there trying to talk to Pastor Hard, talking about some we don't know what we talking about. Like we hung up on one scripture. Oh man, come on, man. You gotta be kidding me. So they go in there. It says the general tariff is up to 20% on products from abroad, a 60% tariff on all imports from China, and up to 200% tariffs on certain imported vehicles. Boy, hey man, he finna raise taxes on shit. Everything's finna cost a lot more because they had that strike, and they said they got 3 months to figure out how much they're gonna pay them, and that's coming up right around the election. And they getting all them new price tags and raising all fucking prices on everything. See? You see how he said he was raising all imports from China? That's your Temu. So you better buy all your Temu shit right now, Jay. To raise the taxes on Temu. You know, we was buying the fuck out of that shit. That shit cheap. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's another good one. Especially when they do that. The thing with the what you call it? They're gonna do the thing with the income plan, international something basic income or something, where everybody just gets a check every month, and that's all you got, and it's gonna make it where it's cheap because they're gonna have robots running everything. So they're going to be able to make shit cheaper. So even though they up the taxes on everything, you know, they're going to make it to where like you can afford it and shit, so they can entice you to take the mark. 2 Timothy 16 verse 21. They're going to make it seem like everything's doing better now. That's what they're going to make it try to seem like. Then that fucking war is going to break out. All them Edomites, they just going to go buy guns with it. Behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon the earth. They shall think themselves be in good case, and even shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger, the sword shall destroy. But it said a lot of people gonna die from hunger more than the sword. And it said dying from the sword is better than hunger because those pine away. Fucking die slow and shit. It's painful death. You know, that's why we eating this meal right here, the word of the Lord, because he said his servants is going to eat. You know, another one, it said Donald Trump to start largest ever deportation of illegal immigrants on his first day. That's what he was just showing the video of. Show you that they talking about in articles. And then, you know, while you got that, you got these rich people out here, and you know, the Lord is judging, the rich. It says terrified friends burned to death, trapped inside crashed Tesla after its electronic doors failed. That's what we keep telling you not to trust in this AI, because the Lord's going to make this stuff fail, Jake. It's going to make it fail. So you don't want to trust this shit. As Job chapter 5, verse 12, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so their hands thinking not could perform their enterprise. They want everything to go digital for you to take MOTB. That shit's going to be fucking shit up, man. Okay. I had a couple more things I want to do, but I'm already hitting 2 hours. So we're going to cut it off right there. The rest of it that I went into didn't have as much to do with the title, but those were the things that I wanted to go across. It's a long lesson, but I wanted to go into those gods, show you that this is a Babylonian, spiritual Babylon, spiritual Syria. Physically the revived Roman Empire. They're all worshiping the same gods that they did back in the day. I wanted to go in depth and show, new brothers, like, go and study this stuff, take this stuff down, take notes, and hopefully it encourages you and kind of gets you going into more words, looking up more stuff, because that's what we do over here in GMS. We look up words, because without looking up words, you're not going to be able to explain it, and prove it to these people who are trying to debunk the truth. We have to explain it through the words so they cannot gainsay or come at us. That's why they don't be doing no more rebuttals. We went over there and cut the doctrine of vocab Malone, this Yah Israelite, and these other people. They ain't finna do no responses, and they do, they're just gonna be pointless because we've already proven that they're wrong. They don't look up words, they just read scriptures. And the ones that do look up words, they got it from us. So shalom to elect Israel, both elect Israel, Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, West Indians, Haitians, foreign Israelites, elect the other nations scattered across 4 corners of the earth. I want to give all praise to Barak, Rawchaa. Got to give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Hey, the water, you made it where it was way better. So the water for sticking with me and throwing in them precepts. I wouldn't throw none of them in there. So the water, as always, double honors to us and the apostles, great mills, let us all to this truth, been ordained by the Lord, teach the flock how to live, repent, pray fast, show forth the Lord's righteousness and mercy, judgment, forgiveness and wrath to all those who part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, we part of that number. Lord willing, is be find us to fear the name of the Lord, striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of our abilities. Just like the apostle said, Jake, just stay out of all of this stuff. Just go to the crib, go to the house, and you got a little side business or something, do what you can, because the prices is about to start going up. So, hopefully, if the little thing that the Lord has put me in responsibility of, hopefully it's enough to where across Babylon the Great and 4 corners of the earth, hopefully, the Lord gives me enough responsibility to where I can help brothers with what I'm about to do. Lord willing, it works out. I just wanted to bring that testimony across because, we ain't gonna have nothing but us, but the hopeful elect in that day. So hopefully it was edifying to new brothers. Stay studied up, stay prayed up. Man, Lord willing, we have that number. Peace and blessing to the elect. Kwame Asarala. Shalom.